Hello, good morning. Today is December the 3rd and I'm going to go for a trip in my car because it's road trip day. It's Monday and that's what I do on a Monday. I've got a couple of things to test. I've got a kettle which I can plug into the 12 volts in the car here, which would be rather nice. And I've also got in my little sort of new wallet for my RFID cards, I've got a new card from Revio. And this Revio card, what I'll be able to do with this, I'll be able to use the Revio chargers, which are in the southern part of France. And there's quite a few of them in the lower part, although it does cover some that are further up north as well. But I think you have to pay extra because they're not on the actual sort of, the Revio thing itself. It's like part of that network that they sort of hook it into, you know. With this card, I get a half price for the initial starting up of the charge. And then it's 2.5 cents per minute of charging. And if the charge is going in there at 7 kilowatts, that's not too bad. Last time I went out charging, I went up to France, I went to Serret. I plugged into one of these chargers and it cost me €4.50 and the electric was only going in at just over, well, around about 3 kilowatts, something like that, which wasn't good enough. It was pretty poor, in fact, and it cost me €4.50 to get very little in the way of kilowatts. So I want to test, see what it's like, see if it's different when I'm using this card, see if I get a better price for the electricity per kilowatt hour, and see if it works out. And the other thing I want to try out, the other thing I've got to test is not this, but what I'm going to put into it. It's this is my cup for some tea, and so I've got this kettle which I can plug into the car into the 12 volt, and I want to see how that works. See if it gets water warm enough that I can make a cup of tea while I'm out. So the kettle's in the boot at the moment, and I'll show you that when I get to where we're going. And I'm going to sort of plug it in there and get it going. Now, the thing is that this cup fits okay into the cup holder here, which you kind of expect. It sort of rattles around a little bit. But the kettle, it doesn't fit into the cup holder at all. I thought it would fit into the cup holder, so I'd have somewhere to put it into while it was actually doing the sort of heating up of the water. And it's not going to do that. So I'll find somewhere stable where I can put it, and hopefully it'll work out okay. And the water will be nice and warm, and I can have a nice cup of tea while I'm out travelling. And today, the tea I've brought with me is some apple crumble tea, which is going to be, it's quite nice. I've tried it before, and it'll be a bit different because I normally have the ordinary sort of English tea, you know, the black English breakfast tea, which is, you know, put a little bit of milk in there, and that's the English way of doing it. But today I'm going for apple crumble because I can't be bothered to carry any milk around with me. So anyway, this is Dave Ann getting started. On the clock I've got, it says 252 kilometres. If I put on the heat in, that comes down to 239, so not a big sort of change there. Say about 12 kilometres difference in these with the heating on. And where I'm going to in France is about 80 kilometres away. 78 to 80 kilometres away. It's just across the border. I'm going to go to a place called Le Boulou and then turn right. And then there's a place down there. I think there's a place in Le Boulou I could try. But this one in this little village, which is out towards the east, going towards the coast, it's not in PlugShare yet. So I'm going to go there and I'll be able to add that one to the PlugShare app. So that's another good thing I'll be able to do for the day. Do the crowdsource thing where I add another sort of charger into the PlugShare app, and I'll give it a bit of a testing while I'm there. And I think there's another one out in that direction as well, which is not a PlugShare app. And depending on how I feel when I get there and whether I want to do more driving or not, I may plug in there too. When I'm coming back, there's a possibility what I'll do is I will go and test out a charger in Figueres. It's one I've tried before, but it wasn't working. It hadn't been commissioned. It was there and it wasn't working. That's the only thing with PlugShare. It was in PlugShare, but it wasn't working. It hadn't been commissioned, like the one in Mataro, like the other one that's near Mataro, a bit closer towards the city. And it's in the PlugShare app, but it's not commissioned. It's not working. Why do they put them in there if they're not going to set them up and get them going? I don't know. It's ridiculous. But anyway, I suppose at some point in time here in Spain, things will sort of go in the right direction and get better. Hello there. I'm stuck in traffic. I'm on the road towards La Jonquera. I'm close to the border with France. I've done 84 kilometres so far. And for some reason, I thought the trip to this place I wanted to go to only 78 kilometres. Maybe it was reported wrong in the app, or maybe I did something wrong somewhere, I don't know. But anyway, I've got near to La Jonquera, and it's chock-a-block. I looked across to where the motorway is, and the motorway's chock-a-block as well. I have to decide at the moment whether it's worth me continuing on my journey. Maybe what I'll do is I could even just go as far as the next roundabout, or I could even do a U-turn before I get to the next roundabout and go back and give up on the idea of going into France. And that might be the most sensible thing. It depends how long I think I'm going to be waiting here. Up until this point, I've been moving, and I've got to the stage now where I've been sat here for the last 4 or 5 minutes. Well, I decided to turn around, and I've just pulled off the road here. Waze is still suggesting I should go forwards towards France, but with a different route, the back roads. And I've pulled off this thing here, and as you can see, I've going across a ford, which is a little bit different. A bit of water going through there, and I'll go through a bit further, have a look at the overview of the map and decide whether it's worth continuing on. I might decide that it's not worth bothering, I might just go home. So here we are, plugged in. I've not been able to use this one before. Last time I came here it wasn't available because it hadn't been fully commissioned. It was sitting there and it was unused. And now it's possible to get in there. When I arrived here, there was the car that's behind me was partly parked onto this charging spot here, and I had to politely ask him to back up a bit so I could pull into this one here. He's just pulled back and allowed me to get in, which is okay. Good job he was still in the car, because I think that maybe he was going to bugger off and leave the car sort of parked in this spot. People are not quite used to how you operate where electric chargers are concerned and parking. And there's plenty of parking, well, there's some parking spaces over there, but they're not available at the moment. There's another parking space in front for another electric car, but it's really sort of for a car where you're sort of plugging in from the rear. If I pulled into that place in the front there, I wouldn't be able to use it because this car's a front loader. So that's a bit disappointing, really, because it'd be nice to have 2 places that were available for a Nissan Leaf, just in case someone else had parked here and I'd be able to sort of pull in the front there. But there's no way of sort of turning the car around and facing the other direction, because the way the traffic goes here, it's just one way this way, and the only way into it is with the this spot is okay for the Nissan Leaf, and the one in front is for the cars where you've got a rear loader, like the Ioniq perhaps, and also the BMW i3. That would work. I don't think the cable would be long enough to stretch it to the front of the car if I parked into that space in the front. But still, everything's okay. I've got parked up here, and as I showed you there where I got the camera started up for doing this recording, it was going in at 45 kilowatts, which is pretty good. Seeing as I've driven 103 kilometers so far. I would have driven further because I was heading towards France, but couldn't get that way because of the traffic jams. If I'd have been patient, maybe I'd have got through there, but still. Thing's been charging now just for a couple of minutes, and it's already gone down to 37 kilowatts, and it's staying 6 minutes to get to 75%. So really I need to stay here for, maybe I'll stay here for 10-15 minutes and then I'll go, because as I say, I want to stop in the charger in Girona and put a bit of juice in there just because I can, and because it's free, and it'll save me some money for when I'm back at home and I don't have to pay for the charging back home. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into the PlugShare app and do what I should have done already, which is to sign into PlugShare. Let's go back, and I can do a check-in on this one here. Charging now. Don't need to put a comment on there, say it's Chadamo. Change the time setting on there from from 1 hour to put it on to 30 minutes, because I might be here for 30 minutes, who knows, might get out of the car and have a walk around, perhaps, we'll see. There's a supermarket next to this place, so I could probably go in there and get some provisions if I wanted to, so that'd be kind of good. And I'm just going to submit that, and that's that. So the charging now has gone down to 33 kilowatts. It's telling me 5 minutes to get to 75%. When I pulled in here, I've got 58% left in the battery, and it's already up to 66%. And I've got 180 kilometres available for driving. It's going in fairly quickly. I'm quite happy with it. If I wanted to stay for until the battery was completely full, I could stay for 1.5 hours. and there's not much point in doing that, because as soon as you get to past the 80% it starts tapering off anyway. And I suppose if you was sitting here and you not going anywhere, you was available for someone coming along and saying, can you move your car because I want to charge there, that would be okay. Why not, if the electric's free? So that's good. I've got another charger in Figueres I can use, as long as I'm prepared to knock on someone's car window and say, can I move your bloody car please, because I want to get in there and charge my car up, and your car's a internal or infernal combustion charge, or infernal combustion engine, and I need electric, and you bloody well don't. Get out of the bloody way. Well, hello there. I've got to Girona and I've pulled up, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make myself some tea. I've got my kettle here, plugged it into the socket down there, and I've got this cup here ready to go. Now what would be nice would be is if this kettle fitted into the space here, but it doesn't. That's a bit of a shame. So I'll have to put that to one side there. Maybe I'll have to make get some sort of tray or something. So it's not the best the way that it's organised, but it'll have to do. And I've just pulled into Girona Sud, which is Girona South, and I've driven 148 kilometres so far. I've actually got 75% in the battery at the moment, which is a fair old bit, And let's go to the battery information page on the dash there. And it's going in at 28 kilowatts, which isn't bad really, I mean, seeing as the battery's been, been used for 148 kilometres, and I was on the motorway just for a little while there, although I wasn't going fast. I kept my speed to about 100 kilometres, so I don't think the battery would have heated up too much that it would have, made it throttle back with a rapidgate type of thing, I've got 75% in at the moment. It's going in at 27 now. And I've got 197 kilometres on the 198 kilometres in the battery to be able to do. And if I want to stay here until it's fully charged, it'll be 55 minutes. But I've got a half an hour available on this charger here, and it's the rapid charger in the south of Girona, and it's all right. It's pretty good. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do what I should have done when I first got here. I'm going to go to plug share. And I'm going to check in, charge in now, as you're supposed to do there. Click on Chatamo, update this here. I want to stay a maximum of 30 minutes, so I'll change that times there. Click on submit, and we're in business. I'm registered, and if anyone else is looking in PlugShare, they'll know that this place here is being used. But if someone does come along and they want to use it, I'm not going to stay here, because I've got plenty of the battery for getting home. I've got 200 kilometres there now, and it's going to take me well, it's 30, maybe less than 30 kilometres to get home. And I'm just coming here to grab some free electricity and to try out my kettle. Let's have a look inside it and see what's going on. Not a lot. Normally when these things are working, you see some bubbles on the heating element, and maybe I can just see a couple of heating bubbles going there, but there's not much happening there. I'll seal it back up again. Maybe it'll work faster if it's been sealed. Will it be hot enough to make myself a cup of tea within the time that I was planning to stay here? Within 30 minutes, because the idea would be that it would take, say, 5 minutes at the most to get the water to a right temperature for a cup of tea, and then I'll have plenty of time to sit and relax and maybe go and sit out on a park bench out there while the tea's being cooked. Well, I'm a bit disappointed with that kettle. It's done the job. It's kind of heated it up, and I think it kind of heated up just enough. I'm going to taste the tea now. And I was wrong about the not being able to feel the heat of the heated water on the outside. It does get kind of warm, maybe even hot on the outside. You wouldn't want to put your hand on it for too long. And I've got a cup of tea out of it. I poured stuff in there, and there's no sort of sign there to say light going off or wood steam coming out or anything else to let me know that it was ready. And it took about 15 minutes to get to any level where I could think, okay, well, it's ready for making a cup of tea. So I'm a bit disappointed, really. I mean, it does the job, but I've got to be patient. But you think, well, having an electric car, you must be fairly patient anyway, because you need to have a bit of patience for waiting for things charging up and stuff. And as far as the charging is concerned, it's 93%. I've got 243 kilometres there ready to for driving. It's only coming in at 7.5 kilowatts now, which is not a huge amount, and it'll probably get down less than that as we get up towards 100%. But yeah, that's okay. I mean, it's free. I don't know how long I've been in there. I think I must have been here about, let's see, I set it for half an hour, and it's just told me that there's 12 minutes left, so I must have been here about 20 minutes, I suppose. There was some people, as happens quite often, that were having a look at the car and have a look at the charger, and ooh, look, electric car, ooh, that's nice. So I told them, I says, you know, coches eléctricos, el futuro, and yeah, sí, seguro. They agreed with me. So that's something. Maybe there's there's a possibility of a convert to electric cars there. They didn't ask me any questions. I thought maybe they would. When I was at the other place in Figueres, there was a man sort of stopped and was there sort of, electric car. He was having a good look, but he was interested, and I said hello to him, but he didn't say anything more to me. But there's interest, you know, as people go by, they think, oh, look, something new, something interesting, something different. It's one of those cars you don't have to put any sort of fossil fuels in. And her and her son seem to be quite impressed.